So is anyone clamoring for this to be a trilogy? Oh, I'm sorry, I'm a week early to asking that. Or am I?
Nine seconds. That's what I'll give you to decide your fate.
Denzel Washington returns as Robert McCall to fight the Italian Mafia in the Equalizer 3. So when it comes to the first two Equalizer movies, it hasn't even been 24 hours since I watched the first one, and I didn't even get a chance to watch the second one. But as for my thoughts on the first Equalizer movie, it's a decent enough action flick, with a great lead performance from Denzel Washington. There's a few good kills, a fun climax, but it's also really generic, a little too long, to the point where it starts to drag, and it's kind of dull in a few areas. I actually have a friend who kept recommending me the first movie and saying how awesome it was, but personally, I didn't get that movie. Now with Equalizer 3, I was on board at the start. It opens up with the aftermath of either one of Denzel's massacres or right where the second movie left off. There's dead guys everywhere, one guy has an axe through his face, and Denzel shoves a gun through a guy's eye. And after all that, I thought to myself, okay, this is the movie I was expecting with the first one. So if you enjoyed the first two Equalizer films, you're gonna have a blast here. And keep in mind through this whole review, I'm only able to go off what I saw in the first movie and the third movie, and not the second one. Just like before, Denzel is great in the lead role. I think he does a good job at doing the straight nice guy routine and becoming a John Wick-like vigilante to stop anyone who's hurting someone close to him, and you can tell that he enjoys playing this character. I did really like the look of the movie. Compared to the first two where they had at least a little bit of color, this one looks a lot more bleak and gritty, which makes more sense because this one is also a lot more brutal and graphic, which I really enjoyed as well. I also enjoyed the action much more here, the cinematography is great, and it's a decent enough conclusion to a decent enough trilogy. And as I said before, you love the first two, you're gonna love this one. As for me, I enjoyed it enough to where I could recommend it, but personally, I think this is just another generic batch of action movies that just somehow got a trilogy. Personal opinion, nothing about this trilogy really warrants its existence. Each movie is just Denzel Washington is a nice guy who has to come out of retirement to kill the most generic bad guys in film in some creative ways. And afterwards, you won't think much about them later on because there's nothing that special about them. And before I started recording, I kept saying to myself, don't mention John Wick, don't mention John Wick, do not mention John Wick. But I have to. Because at least John Wick actually went somewhere with its story, characters, and definitely world development to where it has a reason that it deserves not a trilogy, but a quadrilogy. I don't know a damn thing about the Equalizer besides he can kill a motherfucker just like that. And who knows? Maybe they did explain in the first movie and I just missed it, or the whole idea is that you're just supposed to go with it. And yeah, the villains are the generic as hell action movie bad guys, and they are just there to die. I said this was a decent enough conclusion to this trilogy, but when it was over, I had to remind myself that this was the Equalizer 3 because it ends like I had no idea how to wrap this up as a trilogy. This movie really does feel like the definition of a cash grab, and the only reason it was made was because the first two made their money back. But I found this to be a fun, decent enough waste of 2 hours. I probably ain't gonna think about it much after a couple days, but if you have any interest in seeing this, you'll have a good time. Plus, as action movies go about old guys kicking ass and having cars blow up, better than Retribution. I'm gonna give the Equalizer 3 a B-. And damn, we got a lot of sequels coming out this month to predecessors I haven't seen. I still have to watch the first Nun, the first two My Big Fat Greek Weddings, the first three Expendables movies. Yes, I admit it, I've never seen those. But don't worry, I've seen the first Paw Patrol movie, so I'm good there. Of course that's the one I've seen. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. Subscribe to my channel, like this video, turn on the notification bell, and check out my commentary on Derek Savage's 420 Awards, the 5th annual one. It's actually the 4th. And I'll be back with more reviews very soon. See you then.